Do you want to watch me struggle to put this cruiser motorcycle tire on with an Amazon tire machine? Well, if so, here's a video for you. Sometimes I take a step back and question, why do I do the things I do? Maybe it's because I'm broke. Maybe it's because I hate myself. Maybe it's because I'm too dumb to do anything else. I used to just take my tires to get mounted and balanced, but I moved a little bit away from the nearest shop that would do it. No one in my immediate area will touch them, so browsed on Amazon and saw this Amazon motorcycle tire changer and figured, well, I've done dirt bike tires, other tires, so why not? A cruiser tire is just the same, right? Well, I was completely wrong. Oh, was I so wrong. I do not recommend this to the weak of heart, or the weak of mind, or the weak of muscle, because this sucked. Golly. I mean, you saw the video of me taking it off, which, granted, I'm not using proper tools in here because I really wanted to do an assessment of just the motorcycle tire changer. So the next video you're going to see where I do the rear motorcycle tire, it goes so much smoother. I actually use tire lube from a bucket, slather it around all the rims. I use tire clamps to keep it so I'm not having to try to use the spoons for everything. You know, I use the multitude of tools at my disposal, but here I was not able to. Remember, watch the rims. So this is also, might I remind you, it's the winter time, so these tires and this rubber is colder. Right now I'll put more soap in the bottle, see if I can get a little extra lubrication action. Normally what I'd like to do is, if I'm changing a tire during the summer, I'll set it outside my shop for about an hour or so before I decide to change a tire. And then whenever I take it inside, it's more pliable. But due to it being in the 30s, we didn't have that option here. You can get a heat gun or a hair dryer and put it inside, and that does a decent job, but that just doesn't heat up the entire tire as well. As you can see, I'm using this tire machine as per the instructions, but the problem I'm running into is everywhere I'm trying to pull the tire past down, it's coming back up on the other side, which is what tire clamps are for. But again, I wasn't trying to use tire clamps or anything, I'm just using old spoons and the tool it gave me. And this is sped up 10 times, so you can do the math how long I spent on changing this tire. I don't want to talk about it, but I'll let you do that math. I even bent the bar right there. As you saw, there's that center bar that you're supposed to pivot that tool around, and this is the bar that was provided to me, and I completely bent it right here. So that is just something to consider. If you do buy one of these, you might look at some tougher bars. I ended up calling the company. I was like, hey, what gives? And they did make it right. So, but I'll go ahead and I'll let you watch me struggle. Got it done. As you can see, that metal rod in the middle is severely bent. If there was a shop anywhere within my area, within 50 miles, and they were like, hey, $50 a tire, you bring the tire to me, we'll mount it and balance it, any day of the week, it would have been worth it. Versus just using this machine like it comes. I'm going to do a whole review on the machine and parts that you need to make it work properly, like tire clamps, because like I said, the second tire I got it completely on within maybe 5-10 minutes. I thought the bead would be easier to set on this right here. I am using a smaller 3-gallon compressor, and I'm just really not getting the airflow that I need. I now have since upgraded my shop to a 20-gallon air compressor, But at this time all I had was that 3-gallon, and it just did not have enough air to seat the bead properly. My main hiccup is there's part of the tire wall that is in the center groove of the motorcycle tire, and it's not wanting to go up against the side. It's not wanting to set against the wall. So right here I'm trying to ratchet strap it in. This is another old trick. Sometimes this would work. I was hoping it would, but I didn't have any luck with it. I turned to the good old carburetor cleaner inside the tire and use a little bit of explosion action to aid you. But this rubber was just not budging. I probably should have used more carburetor cleaner and it would have worked better. Again, this is sped up 4 times or so. Whenever I did the rear tire, the motorcycle lube on the tire actually helped it slide up against the wall perfectly, so I didn't have this issue. It was super easy to mount. But this one, since I was using Dawn dish soap in a bottle, I just don't think it was providing enough lubrication from the rubber on metal to fully seat the bead. So we're going to try one more time, getting some carburetor cleaner on the inside right there, and I still wasn't able to get it. Spraying some more lubrication on the inside. At this point I'd kind of given up on setting the bead myself. You know, I'm only using a 3-gallon air compressor that goes up to 100 psi. I don't have a cheetah tool, which is the air tanks with the open valve that, you know, blows all the air in there to set the bead properly. So my dad knew some guys at a shop and he took it there and they got it set. Here is a motorcycle tire balancer I got off eBay. It even comes with a level with an air bubble. Vivo Home is the brand of it. But I am going to do a full review of this thing. I got it off Amazon and I actually really do like it. I set it up level right here. It's got these little cone-shaped things that you kind of push into the motorcycle bearing. So this rod or those cones don't spin. It's actually your motorcycle spinning on its wheel bearing. I pushed it a little too hard right here. You know, normally as long as you get 5 or 6 rotations, you're going to be fine. If you give it a nice solid push, you're going to be sitting here all day. So how this works is if your machine is level, like I leveled mine, then gravity will pull the heaviest part down. There is a minute amount of friction in the wheel bearings, but it should be so low that you should be able to identify the heaviest part of your motorcycle. And then you just remove weight from the heaviest part or add weight to the lightest. So where it lands on the bottom, directly on bottom, that's the heaviest part, and then the very top is the lightest part. So you're just going to keep spinning, repeat this process. I probably spun it 15-20 times. Like you see here, how it spins back and forth and back and forth. You know that the heaviest is on the bottom. So it settles there again, so you know it's heavy. If it comes to a nice complete stop without rocking like that, I wouldn't add or take off any weight. I would just mark it, like with an expo marker or something like that, and then spin it again. And if it doesn't settle there, then that's a balanced tire. Like as you see, it's going to land near the valve again. So I'm going to go ahead and add weight up top. I'm going to use those clip weights that I removed just because I have them. But again, I'm also going to use some stick-on weights from Harbor Freight. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, stick-on weights. They won't stay. If you properly prepare the surface with a good cleaner, so like a brake parts cleaner, even acetone. Acetone is what I used in this scenario, just to get the dirt and grime off and give it a solid surface to adhere to. It works just fine. There's a lot of centrifugal force that are applied to these weights that actually push them into the tire. So you don't really have to worry about them coming off. But right there, like I said, I got acetone and I'm rubbing the spot and I'm sticking the weights to it. I don't only do a 1/4 ounce at a time. I do have 8-ounce wheel weights too, but normally I do a 1/4 ounce at a time. So we've pretty much got this thing balanced. As you can see, there is very little rocking action right there. It's nearly just perfect. I could go ahead and change one of those 1/4 ounce wheel weights to an 1/8, but I kind of like it where it's at. So you saw me mount this tire and you saw me balance it. Thanks again for watching. This is the 1998 Honda Goldwing GL1500 Part 6. And again, this was changing the tire. Next video is going to be us putting it back on the machine, so stay tuned for that one. This is Octane Restorations. You have a good rest of your day.